So where is it? Where's the footage?
Yeah.
None. And it's just darn disgraceful, and they are still trying to cover up. Now, this public relations man, Jim Carden, he had told me he had the footage, and each time I spoke to him there was a different story. Another time I rang him up and he said, oh no, there's no footage. I've said there's no footage, but he did say there was footage. Now, a person went in there and asked him what's the truth, because there's been so many stories, and he said, look, he works for the airport, it has got nothing to do with him at all. It's Qantas's responsibility, and Qantas's responsibility only.
Schapelle Corby, I just need to take you now.
No, you'll have to make an appointment from the service.
Can I ask you this device footage?
Qantas is the answer.
I'm telling off if it's right or if it's not.
We're the airport, we're not Qantas. You understand the difference?
Yeah,
I've tried to phone
yeah.
him up several times, and to say this several times, and to the media many times. We don't
So
have
you're saying that the footage has got nothing to do with customer service relations at all?
No. You fly by Qantas. Qantas is responsible for filming baggage checking, the passenger checking, baggage handling, etc.
So anything to do with the surveillance footage, obviously with Qantas, who else? Or?
I've no idea. But I think we've been through all that before.
It might not be, no, yeah.
Previously.
Okay, and they've supposed to talk to you?
Yes, extensively.
They've been
The lawyers, they've been extensively.
Okay.
Okay, pleasure.
Okay, then.
Okay, see ya.
Story. Now these people have millions of people's lives in their hands.
Well, that's right. If a little child, a 5-year-old child went missing in the airport, how would they find it?
They wouldn't.
They would check the surveillance footage and say, well, that was all switched off, forget the kid's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's it.
Now, Ros, with the Bali 9, they supplied footage of the guys walking around in the airport and all the rest of that. There's no footage even at the Indonesian end, as in with Schapelle walking around in the airport.
No, well, Schapelle's first day of court, she did say, I want that footage from the Indonesian Denpasar airport, because there was a surveillance camera right above the counter, the customs counter that she went to. And she did say in court, please use that footage to prove I am telling the truth, that the customs officer is lying. I opened up the bag myself. He did not ask me. I did not say no. She said, please, that footage, because our lawyers had went out and seen that there was a camera above. The answer that the judge said to her request, please use that footage to prove I am telling the truth, the judges said, we will use that if we need to. And that was it. There was no footage brought in at all.
It's never been presented.
No, and Schapelle is telling the truth, and there's no evidence to prove she's telling the truth. I don't know if anybody has seen the footage. I don't know, you'd think the prosecutors would have, but they would not use the footage.
Unless it assisted the prosecution.
Yes, unless it would assist them.
So, and it's the same with the fingerprints off the bag. They never fingerprinted the bag
They
because
did not
they
one
knew,
thing.
They knew there was other fingerprints.
Okay, well see, there's some of the things that I've been told. You've been told different things. The lawyers were told different stories. My daughter, Mercedes, she was told different things, but the only one that we have in writing is that the surveillance system was under repair, that came way down the track. You know, it's just, they're covering up something, because there was no surveillance, there's no security on at all that day. And they've got something to answer for, Qantas.
And whoever supplies that footage, general surveillance footage, basically should be liable for fraud for taking money for a system that is not operative most of the year.
Yes.
If I was charging somebody, you know, $100 million a year to supply something, and I was only turning it on for 4 weeks of a year, I would expect to be charged with fraud myself as a member of the general public. But apparently officials in higher places are able to do with whatever they like with our lives, whether it affects our lives. And you've got to remember, Schapelle was under threat of the death penalty for over 7 months in relation to all this, and didn't matter how much you said to politicians or Qantas or anybody, she is facing the death penalty unless you do something about this footage. Even that still didn't sting them into action. They went, yeah, whatever, people live and die every day.
Yeah. But the thing is, Qantas has no footage because it wasn't turned on. They don't want to tell the public that.
But meantime, that's only what they're saying. There is actually an article that went apparently from the federal government to the Sunday Mail stating that the surveillance footage had been retained.
Yes, well that is just a total lie. They said that after the appeal was.
And that was in March of this year.
Yes,
March of last year, sorry.
That was a total lie because I had spoken, we had had a meeting in Denpasar with Qantas lawyers and other people from Qantas. This is when the appeal was going, and they said there was no footage, even offered to the lawyers because there was none.